Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is 365-801 and this is a reading vlog. So this reading vlog is going to be probably 24 hours. I'm going to try and see how many I can get through in 24 hours. This is for my Buzzword reads. This is for the last month of 2021. So it is all about days, months and seasons. So this is Sotsugyo in winter and it is probably around 9 or something, but I've already read this, so when I woke up this morning I was like, get on this straight away, and you should have heard me cackling. It was great. There was just so many moments. As soon as I got into it I was like, yes, you've read this before, you know the story, you know what this is, but it's still lovely. There's always little touches and details that I love to see in Nakamura's work. She just really thinks about everything. I love how there's a mixture of like poetry and music. Here we go there. Oh, Hara-sen's little childhood sweetheart. Oh, so... And you can totally see he has a type there. Total type. Oh, so good. It's so good. But I love all the touches to do with like literature and yet at the same time when you got Kusakabe, he's such a teenager. It's such a high school language. And I love seeing Hara-sen's life in school because obviously I worked in a high school, so it's very much like, I totally get that. I understand that. Oh, and the love between these two is just so cute. Tani is hilarious. The Tani whole Tani thing was so hilarious. Him just telling all of these porcupines. But this is one of my favorite. Panels, and you're like, why? One, it's Tani who's like 100% like totally cool with their relationship, and also just kind of wants to bond a little with Sajo-kun. But it was the fact that he's eating ramen, and I was like, okay, how much is the ramen in the background? Oh, chashu ramen. And then the gyoza at the end. Oh, and then the namabiru. Oh, I was like, I know I would order, because I used to eat in places like this because I worked like a salaryman, and then at the end of the day, or like a Friday mostly, it would be a Friday, I'd be like, oh my god, I just need some food, and I need it now, and I need it warm, I need it to be delicious, and yeah, just sit at the counter, have some ramen, maybe a side of gyoza, namabiru, oh, so good. And then of course you have right next to it their little story, and they go to yakitori, and I'm like, oh my god, I miss yakitori. The negi, taro, so many good meals. Every time I read these things I'm like, oh, I want to eat that now. Anyway, it's just gorgeous. It's lovely. I just love this, and I need to pick up the first and the third volumes, because, and the fourth volume now too, which I think is out. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this. It does make me just think I need to get them all properly in English. Yeah, I love having them all in Japanese, but still. And I love that Jocelyn Allen translated it, so I was like, yeah, you gotta get these. And this was what was interesting. So this was published in Japan originally. Where did they say? 2016? 2006? I was trying to see where it was, but it was like originally 2010, and I was like, no, surely not, because I remember reading this first volume in Japanese a few years before, and it was actually, there was a bit of a lag between the first volume and this volume, because I was like, I remember in like 2008, 2009, my pal had the first volume in Japanese as well as the drama CD, because the guy who did the voice for Kusakabe also does the voice for Thierry in Gundam 00, and he loved Gundam 00. He was like, watch it, so I watched it. And And when I was like, oh, Thierry, he must do the voice of Sacho-kun then. And he's like, no, he's Kusakabe. I was like, what? Because Thierry has this kind of like atmosphere. So yeah, anyway, I just love that little tidbit. It was like, oh, it made me think of my friend, so I'm gonna have to contact them as well. Just be like, hey, how you doing? He had a total crush on Kusakabe. Hikaru. Oh, it's great. It does make me want to watch the animated movie again. And I kind of wish they'd just done the whole thing, like every single... Because one volume was one movie. So I'm like, just do the rest as well, because it was probably the most authentic adaptation. Oh, so good. Anyway, so yeah, this makes me want to spend money, even though I don't want to spend money. So today is the 1st of December. It's a 24-hour sort of like vlog, so we'll see how much I can get done today. I do have some work to do, but I think breakfast first. Breakfast. So before I have breakfast, I thought I would just show you something that came in the post. Yes, before you say anything, I did do a full month no buy. The last thing I purchased in October was the 14th of October. And then this I bought on the 17th of November, and since then I would like to say I haven't bought anything, but I bought one other thing. So I think that's pretty good, that I've done at least a full month no buy, and then the only thing that broke it was Twittering Birds, because they were back in stock at Blackwell's. I would prefer to buy from Blackwell's, and obviously Amazon were not going to restock them, but yeah, Blackwell's luckily restocked this because it was out of stock instantly on as soon as it was supposed to go on sale. There was none on sale because every single one was like a pre-order. So yeah, they did not get out. But I watched a TikTok this morning of Dylan. Oh, I hate doing this. Saying that his was printed wrong. So I better open this and actually check to see that this is done right. And if it's not, then I'll have to get in contact with them and be like, hey, ooh, plastic's off, fancy new. I actually have two, oh that looks lovely, two of everything when it comes to Twittering Birds. So I might need to try and see if I can get hold of a second copy of this, just so I can maintain that random, I don't know why I do, but I do have two of every copy so far. It seems okay so far, seems alright. Yeah, I think that's fine. Brilliant. So there you go, it's totally fine. So I can have a wee read of this sometime in December if I want, and have a look out for volume 6 when it comes. Hopefully I'll get one of these as well. So yeah, my one purchase for November, my one purchase for the month of November. But it's kind of like a necessary thing, otherwise you're going to miss out, aren't you? So very happy. It's nice and thick, it's lovely, it smells, oh, new book smell. Oh, I was a wee bit worried because this looks so beat up, like how bad this is, it's all dirty, but I was very happy that this came. So yeah, this is what was my manga haul for the month of November, is pretty much this. That's the only thing I bought. So what I've got, I'll put these away, to read today is My Classmates, which I've already read. Love it. Spring Fever, Yugi Yamada. 7 days, Monday to Sunday. But I also have some digital titles on Futekia to read, which means I need to make sure that my Kindle is charged. And I have a lot of work to do, so I'm only going to read when I do an hour of work. So like an hour on, an hour off. That's my plan for today. But I'm going to have some breakfast and maybe watch something and then get started on work. So that's my plan. So I've been trying to do a little bit of work, not as much as I should do. I'm still getting distracted. I need to not touch social media. I am gonna do a bit of reading in 7 days, but the mail just arrived. Whoop, whoop. Some junk and something I ordered. So as I just said before, I did order one other thing. So since mid-October, I've ordered 2 things. Now this lovely thing is not manga, I don't think. I ordered it a couple of days ago, so right at the end of November. I was having a chat with my sister and we were talking about books that we like to read. And I was saying how sad it is that the 3rd book in the series that I really love is not, or at least it looked like it wasn't going to get published because the author like deleted their social media and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh no. So if I wanted to get the old version of book 3, I was going to have to pay over like £200. And I'm like, well, that's not going to happen. So yeah, let's see if I can open it. Can I open it without showing addresses? I don't think I can actually. Oh no, the struggle is real. Oh, I'm wearing my winter jumper today. It is winter jumper time. I don't have any Christmas decorations up yet. I usually do it on the 12 days before. So let's see, hopefully this one isn't okay. Ooh! Ooh! Interesting. This was not what I was expecting. Well, it is what I was expecting. With abandon. With or without. J.L. Langley. So it's kind of like one of those types of print-on-demand types. I'm assuming. Let's see on the back. So it's a printed in Great Britain by Amazon. So it's one of these print-on-demand ones. And it is the 3rd book in the series. The With or Without series. With caution, with abandon. Without secrets coming soon. Ooh, we've been waiting for years for this. But she did, like, at the start of this year, delete all of her social media stuff. And this is interesting because I feel like I'm gonna have to show you guys. This is not the size or thickness I was expecting. It's a little bit bubbled, but then it's like freshly. Now, of course, it will have a little bit of dirt, but it is like they will have printed it and chopped it all up just for me. The print on demand is interesting, isn't it? Anyway, where's the other ones? I've got them over here. Is it this one? Yeah, here. Oh, can I even get them out now? I'll move you guys out the way. That one and this one. Uah! So I think these are like substantially bigger. Well, they're not massively bigger, but they're bigger. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Why? Why would they do that? So these are the 3. Look. Same size. And I'm not really a fan of this big size. And this size is an okay size, but it's kind of like a not normal dimension size either. Why would they do that? That's gonna be so annoying. Oh. You know when you want a set and you're like, fine, I will pay for it. Anyway, this is the Dream Spinner press, which I had heard wasn't great. So I don't know if they've got all of this and they're just going to reprint them. And then this one, once again, it's just Amazon. They just did it like print on demand, but it's through Yellow Rose Publishing. This one, it's supposed to be through Yellow Rose Publishing as well, but it doesn't say, but it's supposed to be Yellow Rose Publishing as well. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some investigating about it. But at least I have them in physical copies. This one's gonna need a wee bit of flattening. Oh, what was that? But yeah, there we go. different sizes. Why? Because I was like, oh, well, that's good. I was so excited to see this advertised, because when these were getting republished, it was like 1 year, and then the next year they were around September, October time, and then she disappeared this year, and I was like, oh, well, I guess we're not getting this third one again. But it did. It popped up literally just published in November, and my sister was like, oh, we'll just buy it. So yeah, so now I have all 3 books, which is great, and I'll be able to sit and read them properly and feel good about life. But they're not like proper books in that sense. And I wonder if this one's going to get republished, but it's pretty much the same. So I don't know why it's a different size. It feels different as well. Like they all feel slightly different. Does anyone else do this? Like, that's really smooth, like glossy. This one's less glossy. This one's matte. It has a matte feel to it as I stroke books. Anyway, I do like the design. The cover artwork is nice. It's fine. It's fine. But it does mean that I can sit and read this. It is a chunky boy when it's in this format. But there you go. And it is exciting to think that we are going to get the next one at some point. Hopefully, fingers crossed, without secrets would be really, really lovely. That book is a long time coming, but I will wait. I will keep waiting, and I'm going to give these a read at some point, probably sooner rather than later. So yeah, interesting purchase, and yeah, just Amazon print on demand, but through Yellow Rose Publishing. It definitely feels like it's, yeah, curved. Interesting. So yes, I will give this a wee flatten. Some heavy books on top. Back to work. So it's not that long after the postman's been, but episode 67 has been uploaded for Pian Pian. If you know, you know, but episode 66 was not one I was happy with. So I am gonna get episode 67, when we're gonna make a cup of tea and some toast for like a lunch break, and have a wee read of this and see what the deal is, because I am not sure how I'm gonna feel about it. So I'm eating some ham on toast. I've got my wee cup of tea. Just finished the chapter. Ended on another cliffhanger type moment. Man, I hate it. I love it. So what I hate about it is waiting another 10 days. But there was definitely the moment you needed to happen, which is good. That was good. I was happy about that. We'll see what happens from about that situation. If you know, you know. If you don't, then oh well. Also, there was the final like recognition of what they were, their soulmates. Like, finally someone said it. Jesus, it's taken this long. But it's still kind of in an ambiguous type of way, so they better sort their shit out in the next episode. I swear to fucking God, I need to slap them both. It's enjoyable though. At least what I didn't want to happen didn't happen, and I'm happy about that. That's the main thing. And what needed to happen, a bang on the head, had to happen, and that's the main point. But poor Suha, he's such an idiot. He's a cutie pie, but he's an idiot. He's a real idiot. But they both are. Well, they all are. Everyone is an idiot, except for his friend. His friend is the only... No, he's kind of an idiot too. But yeah. Oh my God. Wow. The stress of these children. Pian pian. I do enjoy it a lot. It's good fun. It's kind of not taking the place of Love is an Illusion. That has a place in my heart that will forever reside. In fact, I kind of want to do a reread of Love's an Illusion, but not until like maybe Christmas Day, like a Christmas Day thing where I just sit and read all Love is an Illusion. Maybe that'll be something to do. Pian Pian. Oh, you get me. So I have to wait until the 11th now. So 10 days time, I will get the update of Pian Pian. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to finish this and I'm going to carry on trying to do my work. Oh dear. It is about 2:20 now. It's not actually been that long, and I feel myself being like, oh, I'm lagging. I'm feeling like I need a snooze. The sun seems like it's going behind a cloud already, and I just feel like I need to have a wee rest. Even though I feel like I've just started. I have so much to read through and re-edit and stuff, and it's kind of going to be annoying. But anyway, I was thinking I might just read a little bit of 7 Days, just like a wee chunk, you know, like a wee chunk of it, just to feel like I'm, you know, however much is a wee chunk, as I give myself more, so that I don't actually have to do the work that I need to do. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have a wee read of 7 Days just to break up. Maybe just for maybe like 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Let's have a 20 minutes. Let's come back at 2:40, and I'll tell you about what I've been reading. So I just finished Monday. That's when they kind of get together, and at the end of that, he's like, "Hold on, did he say yes?" I just love that. It is beautiful. It's lovely. It's exactly what it's supposed to. I do enjoy the colour art at the front. I think Sublime did a good job of that. It is very, very beautiful. Lovely, lovely artwork. So yeah, I only did Monday. I will do Tuesday in half an hour, but only if I really work for half an hour. So I'm going to give myself half an hour and then I can read some Tuesday. It's divided up into sections. So I can read, I don't know if Tuesday's a whole day. Tuesday AM. I'll read Tuesday AM after I've done a full solid half an hour of work. That's the promise to myself. Okay, let's do this. So it's actually been almost a full hour, and I was just kind of on a roll. I'm at the point where I need to kind of stop and evaluate and do some evaluation stuff. So I think it's time for another wee chapter. Tuesday AM. I might give myself Tuesday AM and PM just because it's 3:30 already. How did that happen? The day's just gone. So yeah, I might give myself an extra couple of chapters just because I have done really well. I'm quite proud of myself. I mean, I'm nowhere near what I should be, but still. So yeah, a wee break and a couple of wee pages of 7 Days. So it's 10 to 4. I got to Wednesday, so I read both little installments of Tuesday. It was very good. What happened again? What happened again? This what happened again? A menu. Just throwing them in my face. Look at all these ramen dishes. Damn you! A fried chicken set. Char sui noodles. Negi ramen. Pork ramen. Oh! And extra ramen noodles as well when you want them. Oh! I mean, I'm obviously got a hankering for some Japanese ramen. Oh, I wish I could just go out and get some. It's terrible. It's terrible that I read these things and I think, that's what I'm really focusing on. Hyper aware of food. Always. So in the story, they go on a date. He wakes him up in the morning and then is like, hey, you better go to club. And when they're at club, they're both impressed with each other. I think that's nice. But what's most impressive is that he is starting to see different expressions on his face. And I like that by the end of this chapter, he is starting to enjoy the fact that he's able to see these emotions, and he wants to see these emotions, which he was surprised at because he looks so stoic whenever he's shooting in archery. So the very reason why all the girls dump him is the reason why he's like, oh, this is what I'm interested in. This other side to him that he doesn't always show. Which is like, see, there's someone out there for you. There's someone out there for you. But because I now can only think about ramen, I'm wondering if I should just go and make some food. I'm not even that hungry, but I've just got a hankering. And I won't be able to make my own ramen, but I could make something nice. I do have some noodles, and I've got like stock cubes, but it's not the same. It's not the same. And I'm just wondering what I'd put in it anyway. So I'm wondering if I've got any food. I've only got vegetables in the house, so it's not like I can actually have like a really good ramen-y dinner, although that would be nice. I do kind of think it's starting to get grey and dark. I could go to the shops. I think it's about almost 5 to 4, something like that. I could go to the shops and see if the Christmas lights are on and show you some of the Christmas lights. They were putting them up the other day, and it is now December. I don't have any decorations, but they usually put them up a bit earlier in the town. They were up for months last year. Well, this year, wait, all the way through to February. It was terrible. So yeah, they're back again. For a full quarter of the year. Christmas lights everywhere. So yeah, I might take a little wander for a bit of a walk, stretch the legs, get myself reset, see if there's anything tasty in the shops that's tempting and interesting, and then come back, do a bit more reading and a bit more work, because I think I will just be doing that for the rest of today. We'll see how much. I want to get at least one document finished. I was aiming for 4 today. That's not going to happen. I want to get 1 document finished today and see if that will, then I'll be happy if I get 1 done. So yeah. Anyway, let's go for a walk and go shopping. So I just got back from my little walk and my wee trip to the shops. What they had was seasonal sandwiches, yay! Turkey and cranberry with stuffing, delish. So I just added some lettuce so it's not quite so protein heavy. And there are some vegetables in it now. So I'm going to have this and a cup of tea and have a wee read of 7 days before I get back down to some work. It was really nice to be outside and see all the lights and smell like coal fires in the crisp air. It was very, very chilly, probably around the minus level. It might freeze overnight. I think it smelled lovely because everyone's like, oh, it's kind of cold, better put the fire on. So a few coal and wood fires smelled nice in the air as well. So yeah, a bit of seasonal sandwiches. I love a good seasonal limited edition food. It's always good. So I'm going to enjoy this and have a wee read. So it's actually quite late now. It's probably about 8. I did have something to eat and it was delicious, but I think there was onion. There's bound to be onion in the stuffing. Or whatever I ate. Anyway, I think there was some sort of allergen in it because now I'm super tired. And I did read all of it. It was great, just as I feel like it is. It's just a lovely little story of the two of them being silly with each other and just lovely. It's just such a nice ending as well with the wee extra. Look at that. Aren't they cute? They're the cutest. And I do think that this is what you should be reading, not a lame rip-off. If you know, you know. I'm going to say that again. You know, you know. So yeah, give 7 days the proper due that it deserves. It is a classic in the Fujo pantheon. Can we use that term? I don't know. But it is, it's just a lovely artwork, lovely, cute story, and iconic. It's an iconic work. The fact that it's like Takarai Rito's first published work, and I like how right at the end she says that it would have taken the same time as a real life student 3 years to make, from first year through to graduation. So yeah, I do like that. Sublime, thank you very much Sublime for saving this license and publishing it in a nice big chunky version. I got this, I think I ended up spending about £5 because I got it for like £3 through WH Smith, but then they added on like £2 something shipping, and at the exact same, like 2 days later, Book Depository or Amazon had them for like £3.25 or £3.75 or something, and I put a little thing on Twitter at the time. So some people I know got a good bargain, even more of a bargain than mine, but as Rebecca said, it's a bit pricey now. It'll probably be a full price, £10.99 in the UK, but a lovely volume you should have. It's, I don't know, I definitely think there's an element of nostalgia for all the Fujo who went with this. I mean, it took 3 years, and of course we would all be reading it through scanlations before it was actually published with June Manga. So yeah, 2007 and 2009 when the tankobons were probably published, which means that, yeah, that it would have been maybe 2007, maybe 2006, something like that, when the first chapters would have been coming out. So yeah, a long time ago. It's lovely. I put a fire on, a Christmas fire, to have while I was reading. But I think I might actually have a warm bath, because like I said, I think I've had an allergic reaction, so I'm feeling really tired, which means I probably won't get my one document finished today, which is annoying. We'll see, but I do think I need to go have a warm bath, get my pajamas on. I only have one more book that I need to read today, which is Yugi Yamada's Spring Fever, but I was thinking Dylan on Dynamic Dylan has, along with Shay Geeks Out and is it Pages and Panels, the 25 Days of Manga, and he's doing it on TikTok, and I've got a TikTok account so that I can see other people's TikToks, but I've never published a TikTok. I don't know how to do that, so I might try and do the 25 Days of Manga as TikToks this year, because that seems like much easier than doing, I was going to do them as shorts, because that's much easier, isn't it? Like a short or a TikTok, than doing a whole video like I did last year. I'm like, cool, like 30 seconds. Can I do it? I don't know. It's a challenge. It might wake me up. But yeah, before that, maybe a bath. Okay, so I'm all washed and warm and pajamaed up, and I'm ready to read Spring Fever. I was just having a wee read of the back, and it sounds like it might be more like cozy than torrid. So I'm kind of hoping that it is like a sweet, cute one. It's just nice to read a due title. I honestly think this has never been read because it's so tight. It's like, it's not even wanting to open. So yeah, I'm gonna have a wee read of this. It looks good. I'm very excited. It is the Yugi Yamada title that I've been looking forward to the most. So I'll see what I think. So it's literally just after midnight, so I really need to go to sleep now. But I really enjoyed this. Ugh, Yugi Yamada, she's just so good. She just knows what she's doing. She gets to like tell really great stories. It was 2 stories, it was 2 separate stories. One was about this young man, he's only 18, and he ends up having a bit of a crush on this 38-year-old man who has a 4-year-old child. So he's a single dad, there's kind of a story there for how he ended up in this situation. The ex-wife died in a car crash. He used to live next door to his family's calligraphy school, and so he knew him, but he thought he was his older brother, and things like that. But then there was the brother of the ex-wife who he had an affair with. He ended up telling the ex-wife, and that's how they ended up divorced. All kinds of like stuff like that. But it's just great. It's just great. It's definitely one of her older works, but it was just a sweet one. And then there was a wee time skip, and then it was a happy end. It was great. The second story was about, which I have to say does have slurs in this. So yeah, be careful if you... homophobic slurs, if you are very averse to that. I think that's something that's definitely happened in BL. I'm not sure how much of it still. There's probably still some stories that are published that have that kind of element as a plot device, but it might not be translated into that term nowadays. But this is quite an old one. When was this published? 2001 in Japanese, and then 2007 by Dear. So yeah, you know, that's a long time ago. 20 years. 20 years ago. Wow, that's amazing. It's definitely, you know, that kind of style. I really enjoyed the second story though, even though there was a couple of slurs in the first section of it. It's very much like internalized homophobia, maybe. It was about two boys who grew up as, once again, next door neighbours, so I'm guessing that's like the theme of the story. And there's like 2 or 3 years, maybe 3 years of a difference between these two boys. One's very much justice oriented, and the other is brought up by his mum on his own, and he's a little bit more effeminate, and there's definitely assault and things like that from a classmate, and then there's a big time skip again, and he meets him when he's older, and he, you know, says things like the use of the word flaming and stuff like that, you know, all that. So it's very dated, but then from 2007 and then actually from 2001 I can understand. The story itself though, if you just edited it, could be updated in terms of the dialogue, but for me, I understand it. Even some of the terms, we were just on that page, where was it? There's like a moment when the mum says something, and you can see it next to, with the Japanese is still there, so you can still see there's like Japanese that you can read in Japanese. So instead of tihi, kusu. What does that say? Ato wa, so hard to read. Senai, senai. Oh, I can't read it. It's too small. I need to be able to. Anyway, so yeah, there's things about it that I really liked. Anyway, the two boys, they had a falling out, which was very much like, yes, you should have fallen out about that. That was not good, but also you can kind of understand parts of it as to why these young children, really, they're still children at that point, why they did what they did, and it wasn't very good. There you go. And they end up together, and I just was like, I love her drawings. Look at these two, they're kind of like the whole sense of, what did we do last night? Oh no. And the fact that his hair is all like that is so funny. So yeah, I am happy that I finally got Spring Fever. I am not that bothered about the slur words in a publication that is, 14 years old, from a publication that's actually 20 years old. And I'm not entirely sure that she would use that terminology now. In fact, I'm pretty sure she wouldn't, unless it was necessary for the plot. And in this sense, it was in a way necessary for the plot, and certainly for the time period, it would definitely have been used as a slur towards someone who is supposed to be your, you know, like childhood friend. Yeah, they're gonna call each other things like that. So, not that it's appropriate, but they will still use these slur words. So yeah, be warned, there is an element of that if you get hold of this title and that is something that you find overtly offensive and you cannot tolerate at all, then that's fine. And if you can recognise the framing of it and the time period it came from, then it's still an enjoyable story and not too much of an element. There's definitely old style things in it that is quite funny. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good. It was adult and still sweet. So yeah, it was definitely elements of sweetness and sort of like found family, which I liked about this one. I don't think it's for everyone's taste, but Yuki Yamada's definitely mine. She's my taste. She's mine. I don't know. I just really like her. So, it is midnight. It's more than bedtime for me. I should be asleep already. So yeah, I don't know. I might get a few more reads in tomorrow. I will definitely get some of my documents finished. Fingers crossed. So maybe see you tomorrow, because it's a 24-hour readathon, so I'll see you tomorrow. Early to rise. So it's just after midday. I forgot to charge my phone, so I couldn't actually film anything, but I have finished the 3 physical print manga that I wanted to, and I've just had a wee break and I've been watching some Bizarre Individual. It's always good for his manga haul. Go check it out. Give him some love. I started it last night and I was like, oh, I need to go to sleep. Oh, my phone's going off with things. Anyway, I was thinking at some point of reading some Futekia titles today, and they will be the rest of the BL manga that I need to read for my buzzword for December. So please meet me in the restroom every Wednesday is probably the first on the list. But I think I might just put the kettle on. It is, I don't know if you can even see that, it's white out there, cold. It snowed again last night, so I need hot beverages all the time hot beverages. So yeah, I'm gonna have a wee watch of Bizarre and make some tea, and then I'll probably get back to work because I need to get back to work. So I'm gonna stop for lunch. It's about 2:30. I've done quite a bit of work. I'm quite happy with what I'm doing. But I'm gonna stop and have some vegetable spring rolls, sweet chili sauce, and I'm gonna probably have a wee read of something just to break up the monotony of all of the work that I'm doing. But yeah, this looks delicious, and I think I'm gonna find out what's happening in the toilets on a Wednesday. I mean, what am I reading? To be fair, it is exactly what I suspected it would be when I read the synopsis. But still, when it's just spelled out like that, it is rather amusing. But yeah, we'll see what else this story has in store. Literally the second page. So it's a little bit later on, it's starting to get dark again, it's still really cold, all the snow that fell is still on the ground because it's so cold outside, so I've put the heating on just to make sure my house gets all warmed up. Arakata, what a kind of weird story. It feels like something I've read before. Anyway, as you would expect, two guys end up having the same hobby, which is masturbating in the toilets on the same day of every week. They didn't know that they were both doing it because they were using different toilets, but then when they were moved into the second year and into the same class, the nearest toilets to them were the same, so they ended up in the same toilet doing the same thing every Wednesday. and they end up deciding to give each other a wee hand. And it progresses from there. It was a little bit more feeling oriented than just you would expect such a sex heavy topic. So it was much more about being open to emotional intimacy than it really was about physical intimacy. It was about actually developing relationships and trust between individuals so that you could have a relationship. So it was about being partners and lovers rather than just being physical lovers. And that was kind of interesting, considering it was such a sex-heavy manga. Anyway, I think the next one was like Pound Cake or something. I think that had a day in the title as well. So I think that's the next one I'm going to read. So is it almost 7? I think it's almost 7, so it's quite late. I have what's left of my wee donut and a cup of tea. Because yeah, I was just like chilling. I had a little bit of like a light dinner. But yeah, Pound Cake on Sunday. I just finished reading. This is by Amida Shizuku, and it is quite it feels like a long because it's got 9 chapters. But they're quite short chapters, and I gotta say, I was a bit like, oh, I'm probably not gonna like this. And I chuffing loved it. It was great. It's about a young boy who, I gotta say, he seems like he's presented as the main character, so you get his perspective on things, and you kind of like, oh, he's the sane, normal, rational person, and the situation he is presenting to us is the whole, hey, isn't this weird thing? And yet it flips on its head, and he becomes the one who's like a bit weird. And he's the one who's driving the situation forward. So it's really interesting the way that the story was pushed. Anyway, so he's is it Takeyoshi, a student, and his dad starts going on about how his new workmate, his subordinate at work, is quite a beautiful man. So beautiful. Anyway, he invites the Nishida? The workmate to dinner, and he's like, oh my god, my dad's in love with a man. And it ends up being like, as soon as he sees him, he's like, oh shit, he's beautiful. He's in love with him as well, or at least what he thinks of as well. Turns out his dad's not. His dad was just being a nice guy, because his dad's a nice guy. And he ends up having this total crush on him and pursues him, and he ends up being more open and honest about who he is in front of the kid, who must be like a 17-year-old boy or something. So there's 10 years of a difference between them. But it turns out he's quite innocent as well. And he pursues him. He goes for it. The younger kid is like, no, we're doing this. We're having a relationship. We're going to be serious. And yeah, you're my first. And he's like, I don't care. It's like so pure, so driven. And I really liked how he was the one who cooked all the meals, and he was kind of domestic, and I quite liked that whole, he looked after his dad looked after the both of them. It was just a nice story all round. I know some people might find that age gap a bit disconcerting or problematic, and I certainly do most of the time, but I've got to say, in certain cases, when it's presented not in a problematic way, then it's not problematic. This didn't feel problematic at all. It felt very much like someone awakening to their sexuality and then pursuing the person who they're interested in. It just so happens that they happen to be 10 years older than him. But because they're both fairly innocent in the ways of relationships, it doesn't feel like one of them has massive power over the other. Especially with the way that the character and their personalities are. I really liked it. And I loved Takeyoshi's pal, the one at the school. He is hilarious. And I liked that right at the end there was like a bit of a time skip, so you knew that there was a bit of like at least a year had passed, and even in that year there had been development and change, and Takeyoshi had grown. He was like a foot taller than his friend now. Ah, youth. Seishun. So yeah, Pound Cake on Sunday was really good. I think the only ones I have left to read are ones with spring or summer in the title. So I don't know, it's 7 o'clock. I might give them a read. I do have some things to do tonight. And I also would like to read Twittering Birds, the volume that I got. So I don't know how much I can get done for my reads. But I feel like I've done quite well. So I might do one more Futekia title and then like call it a night. And call it a day on the vlog as well. So one more Futekia title at least, I think. So I've got an hour before something is on at 8 that I want to watch. So I'll give this a wee read. Whatever it is that comes up, spring or summer. So I just finished reading A Tunnel of Spring Rain. This is by Kei Kingawa. It's mostly just their story, Asahi and Eiji, and then there's just this extra little one-shot about someone who can hear other people's voices, and he ends up meeting an older policeman who he can't hear their inner voice. And so he wants to hang out with him just because it's peaceful and quiet. But he helps him with his police work. Eiji-san and Asahi-kun were pretty cute. It was about an older sister's ex-fiance. The older sister died, and of course the younger brother ends up looking after, taking care of, and falling in love with the ex-fiance. And it was pretty cute. It felt like something I'd read before, like in the past, but I think that's just because it has that kind of similar thing. But there you go. So, A Tunnel of Spring Rain. I've read quite a few things now for this vlog, and I'll probably just wrap it up. So it ended up being a 2-day vlog rather than just the 1 day that I was supposed to, or planning to. But yeah, so I ended up reading the Classmates Winter Volume, 7 Days, and Spring Fever by Yugi Yamada, and then a few things on Futekia as well. So I can officially say I have definitely done December for my buzzwords as well. I might read a couple of the other things that I picked out from Futekia, maybe if I feel like it, but I am probably going to go to bed and read Twittering Birds, my volume 5 that came, as a sort of nighttime reading. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap up this vlog today here with this Tunnel of Spring Rain. Thanks for sticking with me. It's probably not a very interesting one, not much happened. I just worked a bit, and not even as much as I was supposed to, but I did get quite a bit of reading done, so I'm happy about it. So yeah, I'm 365-801, and I make videos about BL, manga, yaoi, male romance, and all that good stuff. This is my buzzword vlog for the month of December. Thanks for sticking with me to the end, if you did. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and consider subscribing if you want to. I will probably do a wrap up of my buzzwords for the year 2021, and I will probably do a looking forward to 2022 buzzword video as well at some point. So look forward to those videos sometime in December as well. Take care everyone. Remember, every day is a BL day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!